All right, this is a really short introduction. In the video, towards the end, I said, you know what, it really would be good if you could use this time to get something done while you're listening to it. So for the 15 minutes, you could just push play and then get started on something and know that this video is about 15 minutes. You're going to keep going for 15 minutes, and then you could let me know what you've got done. Okay, so that's really quickly what I wanted to say in the beginning, because I do mention it later, but later it doesn't make sense to hear that. The other thing is that I just want to let you know, I'm not going to get in too much into what this video is about, but I just want to let you know that there are images in here of a roommate that I have now who's turned into a good friend who was a client, and she lived in such a mess for 16 years. She had wanted to get work done to her house, but because of the clutter, because of the mess, she just couldn't do it, and everything has changed. And I share with you some of her thoughts because I did a short little interview with her where she shared with me how she felt about herself when she lived in the mess, and how she felt like everybody else perceived her, and what it meant for her. So anyway, I get into that in the video. I just wanted to let you know that there's a fast forward video at the end of us doing a little bit of a decluttering project together. So there's a lot in this jam-packed 15-minute video, which will make you feel so good about yourself. So anyway, there's that. So now on with the video. The title of this video is Being Misunderstood, SLOB, S-L-O-B, which stands for spontaneous, lighthearted, optimistic, and beloved. Being a slob is not a bad thing. The social stigma of living in a mess, and a part of Donna's interview. Now, part of this video is going to be part of my blog that I'm going to add to it, a dejunking video that I did with Donna. Now, Donna was a client of mine, and now she happens to be my roommate. She really struggled with a mess. It was overwhelming to her. It was everywhere, and it was pretty bad. She gives me full permission to talk about this, so just in case anybody says, oh gee, I don't ever want to tell Kathy anything, she puts it out there to the world. I never do that without permission. Okay, Donna really wants to help people, and she was so blessed by what I was able to do for her. And of course, we all know that she did the work, but we've got to be shown what's possible. Sometimes, you know, like let's say you're trying to learn how to play the guitar or learn an instrument. You need to know how. Sitting in front of a piano and crossing your fingers and hoping you could learn it, nothing's going to happen. We need some sort of instruction, and that's where I came in. The reason that I'm doing this live like this is because I'm going to be sharing, as part of that blog that's going to be, this is going to be attached to, is a fast forward video that Donna and I did decluttering a little section of her den that she had been putting off. She had a laundry room in her kitchen, right off of her kitchen by her back door when you walked in. And to the right was, you know, bifold doors, and her laundry room was back there. Well, before it got work done to it, because it was she's been renovating, and it's done now. It's amazing. And, you know, she had to take everything out of there and put it somewhere. You know, she had stuff that you'd have in your laundry room and by your back entranceway. And there was also things that maybe she wouldn't keep there later because she was still in the process. So there were extra bags, brown bags, the plastic bags, the stuff that you use for washing clothes, clothesline pins, rags that you use for cleaning, dustpans, that kind of stuff, right? Wires, there were some wires, extension cords, that kind of thing. So all of that came out of there while the men were doing the work there, and it was in her den. And so she said, I think it's time that we took care of that. And I said, yeah, it's become white noise, right? And she said, yeah, it has. So what I did was I did a video, I made it on fast forward, and I'll narrate it. And the reason that I've chosen this topic for today, because the theme that I'm doing is decluttering, is because if we feel hopeless, if we feel like we can't, if we feel like there's something wrong with us, it's going to be almost impossible to start. Because why bother? Why bother starting when we know that there's nothing we can do about it? It is what it is, especially when we've been told by professionals that, well, I'm here to tell you that it has nothing to do with you or your character or your ability to change. It's just a learned skill, okay? So now, recently I did like a little interview with Donna, and I just asked her some questions about, you know, working with me and that kind of thing. And this one little section that I'm going to share right now was about how she felt about herself and how she was perceived by other people. And I know you're going to relate to this. One of the things that spurred this on for me is I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a reel of somebody who was giving a speech, and he was talking about how he helped this girl. This girl came up to him afterwards and said, "Thank you so much. I cleaned my room and it changed everything for me." And all right, okay, I can kind of go there. A lot changes in our lives when we get it together at home. We have more freedom, that's for sure. But what he said next bothered me majorly. And he said, the mess that people have is a product of who they are. It's what's up here. And oh my God, my heart was beating a million miles a minute when I read that. I tapped out some things on there. Then when I went to look for it before, later it was gone. There was people that agreed with me, but there were so many people that were so right on with him and saying such horrible things about people that are a mess. The perception that people have of people that live in a mess is unfair, and it's dead wrong. It's dead wrong. Okay, so here, wait, really fast, I know. Einstein said, if a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, then what's an empty desk the sign of? There's no scientific or psychological evidence that a messy desk is a sign of a messy mind. Did you see Einstein's desk? What about Steve Jobs? Did you ever see a picture of Steve Jobs in his office? Look behind him. Look at the mess that's behind him. Who gives a crap? That's who we are? We are our mess in the house, or we are our neatness in the house? The neat people are the people that are good, and the messy people are the people that are bad. Can you see how ridiculous that is? All right, so here we go. These are some of the things that Donna said, okay, that she said about how she felt before she got it together at home and when she was living like that. She said, I felt like there was something wrong with me. I wondered if it was permanent and I could never change it. I thought it was a psychological problem. Other people saw me like there was something wrong with me, that I could live the way I did, and I did nothing about it. So she was perceived as lazy. She said that too later. They were horrified by the way I lived. I felt completely misunderstood, lazy. I questioned my ability as a designer. Now, Donna is a designer, an interior designer. And when I show you her home, because, eventually you'll get the tour of it, you'll see that it's exquisite. She didn't just renovate. She's very good at what she does, picking colors, picking things that you would say, really? You're going to get those light fixtures there? And then they go in. It's like, oh my goodness. So she's really good at what she is. Did she get good at what she did after she cleaned up? She was who she was before that. But the way she said, I felt so misunderstood. I'm a designer. People see this and see such a different person than I know I am in here. I'm telling you that you are wonderful just like you are if you never pick up a sock or wash a dish. Okay? One thing I remember was my sister came to stay for the night and she bought her own sheets. Then Donna said that she realized how her sister saw her. She perceived her in a way that was dirty. She knew it wasn't who she was, but she didn't know how she can convey that to anybody else. People thought I was disorganized, she said, and I am organized. How many of you say the same thing? I really am organized. We're like perfectionists that nobody believes is perfectionists, because it's like, well, look at how you live. But we are really, really good at putting stuff together. Most people who are a mess at home are super organized at work. Okay, so she said, I am organized in so many areas in my house. Now, I'm saying here, we aren't even our thoughts. We're the observer of our thoughts. How can anybody dare to say that we are the mess that we live in? It's wrong, it's messed up. And if you look at the people in the world that are the movers and the shakers, they're the people that drop and run for everything. The organized people don't do that. We need everybody. We need the people who are super organized and rigid and structured, and we need the people like us who can get a phone call, find out we need to go somewhere, and be able to go on an emergency, and be able to have fun just because we want to, and to restructure things. Everybody can't be the artist. Everybody can't be the accountant. Everybody isn't wrong because they're not what society says everybody needs to be. And we really need to get to a point where we feel comfortable in our own skin. Do you know how difficult it is for me to get a testimonial where I'm allowed to give a face with a name? People will tell me, yeah, you could put my name. It's fine. But, don't share any pictures. Don't put my picture with it. Don't put me with it. I don't want to. A lot of times they won't let me have their last name, but they'll let me use their first name. And why is that? Because there's so much shame involved. If you just got done learning how to speak Japanese, wouldn't you be proud of that? If you were trying to speak Japanese and you sounded ridiculous, would you be ashamed of that? No, we wouldn't be. But it's the social stigma that people have about the mess that makes it shameful. And it just shouldn't be. One other thing I want to say about this is that I want you to not identify with the mess with words. Like, don't say, I'm disorganized. I'm a mess. First of all, that word disorganized pisses me off. Is anybody dis-musical or dis-mathematical? We're not dis anything. We don't know how to live an organized life. That's why I use organizationally challenged instead of dis. Okay? Don't say my mess, my clutter. Don't say mine. It's not yours. It's a mess. It's the mess. It's something that you have to address, but it isn't yours. Don't take possession of it. All right? And see yourself separate from it. And take it from me. I've been doing this so long that the video that I have on YouTube when I first got started, I am visibly younger. That's how long I've been doing this. I look very, very different. I've been doing this in my life since 1989, and I've been doing this, helping people doing it almost since then, but working regularly with them like this since 2011. So it's been 12 years, right? 12 years that I've been doing this intimately with people. And I'm telling you, everybody changes. Everybody fixes it. Everybody does. It's like saying, take 2 apples and 2 apples. Now count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many apples? 4 apples. If you know how to add 2 and 2, you're going to get the answer. It's the same thing. You can do it. And you are wonderful, just like you are. Like I said, even if you never wash a dish or pick up a sock. So when this is done, I will edit it. I know I probably rambled quite a bit. And I'll put it in with the video of the fast forward of Donna and me just decluttering a section, and I'll talk through it, how we got it done, how we made the decisions, what to do, how we broke everything up, and then the dispersing of it, okay? And then if you want to declutter while you're watching that, then bada boom, that might be fun too.
Okay, now we segue into the edited edition of us decluttering. Here we go.
The first thing Donna did was to get containers to use so that we could sort and separate everything. She had a lot of boxes handy, so we used them. I recommend a total of 5 different containers for decluttering, plus a garbage, recycling container, coffee can for change that you come across, and a shoebox for small, delicate, and valuable things that you find. The 5 boxes are put away in another room in the house, don't know what to do with these things, donate, storage, and papers. After Donna labeled the boxes and we had our other things that we needed, we simply began by picking up one thing at a time and placing it in a box that it belongs in. Then we had to disperse the things. When a box gets full, you stop what you're doing, do whatever you need to do with the things in that box if a box is full. When boxes filled up with things that belonged in the laundry area, we carried them there to work on after decluttering was over. Donna went outside for a break and I started on my own, hoping to surprise her. I just sorted again, combining like with like, and stacked it all up, organized as possible until the shelves go up and we can put those things actually away. We ended up with things that needed to go into the garage, and they're on the counter by the door, and I filled up one black bag that didn't belong in that laundry room stuff, and Donna needs to go through that. There, done. Now this video turned out to be 15 minutes total, so if you've gotten some work done while you were listening, let me know what you've done in the comments. And if you have any videos that you want me to do in the future, let me know that too. All right, bye.